Alright, back at it again today. Still small game season, so got my bow. Maybe we'll see some pigs or some hogs. The goal, I'm back in an area I've scouted a few times this year. There's just spots on this WMA that I haven't seen yet. And I'm kind of narrowing down a few areas. I don't have any more cameras, so it's just scout. There won't be no cameras getting put out today, but just like I said, I'm just trying to learn it. This is a relatively new WMA that I hunted this past season. They have some bonus hunts on this one, and what I like is they got some bow only areas, which I got some spots on the rifle area and the bow area, so I'm trying to find spots on both. My cousin's out here with me today too. He's going to another spot that's probably a couple miles away, same WMA, but he's kind of expanding off where I'm at, and he's finding him some spots. So that's the goal. We're just looking for good buck sign. I mean, anything. I got this transition I'm gonna walk between the swamp and some ponds, and I walked it the other day, but there's a few spots that I either walked through too fast I want to check, or I didn't even make it to at all. So I'm just gonna kind of start where I finished off, and just feeling the wind right here right now. I don't know how good it's gonna be trying to stalk up on any pigs, but either way, you never know. So I'm gonna swing around here, walk this access road back, see what we can find. Got a scrape right here. Right by this scrape. It's been hit for, if you look at the rings, you'd think 3-4 years. I'm almost to this first pin now that I dropped. I'll show it on the screen, but it's basically, you got a bunch of different colors coming together, different terrains, or different habitat edges, not really terrain, but it could be good, could not be good. I'm already seeing a trail right here, cut into it. You basically got ponds on both sides of this small bottom. I'm just gonna walk in there and walk the edges of everything and just see what kind of sign I see. Look for people's sign, deer sign, everything. Just trying to get a feel for this area. I just spooked some hogs. Dang. It's so thick you can't be quiet walking in this crap. I think I can still hear them. I just hit where I dropped this pin. I'm following this dim trail back. Kind of thought hogs were using it, but for sure they're using it. I'm just gonna keep using it here. It's pretty thick. It's very thick, actually. I'll show you. I mean, you gotta bob and weave just to get in here. It opened up a little bit. That's what I came through. it opens up. I say it's open. It's open on the ground. If you climb the tree, you wouldn't be able to see crap. All right. I'm right at the point of some pines, and I found the exit trail. It's got deer poop on it. And a little bit of sign. Just gonna turn my tracker on, walk out, see what it runs into. Cause you ain't hunting in that. Got another rub right here. Small one. See a stick back there. But them pines, I don't know if you can see them right there. They're green. But they point off right there, and there's a trail coming out right here. You can just see a faint trail going right through there. Follow the faint trail out, and then look right here. There's water ground out there. Can't tell much from the branches. But that ground is pitted out from where they made a scrape here. So far, pretty decent sign. See, it comes out and it opens up in here. This would be where you'd have to hunt it. What I also like is there ain't many big trees to climb. I mean, you got a couple small pines, but you don't start hitting the good trees till you get back there in those pines. I got pines on this side. Those pines point out right there, and that trail's coming. And then you hit a scrape. So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make some circles in this area, this general area, and just see what rubs and if I run into any more good trails. Because I'm almost positive they're bedding over there. It's thick, and it's got that dark look to it. It's just from some of the scouting I've been doing too. All these trails, all the trails I followed come down to this thick bottom. Down to the thick bottom. So they're moving back and forth onto it because there's like an open where I expect there to be more pressure. There's big live oaks, there's just more food out there. But I also think there's more pressure out there. So I'm basically gonna have to try to cut them off. Either going to the bottom or coming from it. Because they're gonna have to want it if they hunt back here. That's what I think. It's a pretty good track. On this trail I'm walking, this is kind of paralleling those pines over there. Got a small rub here. That scrape I found is right over there. So, all right, it's getting hot. I have back there on that point where those pines were, I found a cluster of sign. Nothing crazy. Definitely some bucks and deer working that point and around the end of it. Might be worth throwing a camera up at some point. I've kind of branched off of that. I'm on a main trail. I say a main trail, a good trail. It's basically working just inside of a transition, paralleling this small, it's not really a creek, just like a little bottom. So I just gotta downgrade a little bit. It was freezing cold this morning, which is 11 o'clock now, so we're just gonna keep following trails. That's kind of the goal. Find where trails are pinching in together, find buck sign, deer poop kind of give me an idea of possibly where deer are bedding, which I have an idea now. Definitely on the transition of these bottoms and pines. It is so freaking thick. Even where I'm at now, I mean, there's no trees that a climber could go on. You could saddle hunt in here or have a lock on, but the trees are either ain't big enough or they got too many limbs. I guess you could prep a tree. But yeah, I'm gonna pack my stuff up, put it in my bag, and then I'm gonna just keep following this trail I'm on. I like seeing big poop like that. It's good sized deer there. I see more over here. So if you can see behind me, that trail ran into this. It's gotta be like an old fire break that's just grown up now. But I'm still paralleling this thick little bottom. And see, this trail I'm on is running to a spot I scouted a few scouts back. I actually have a camera not far from here where there's like 4 or 5 intersecting trails. So it's good. It's kind of adding to the picture. Which I like this little opening I just came out of with a couple piles of deer poop. I think that'd be a good camera spot just to catch deer traveling. There's no rubs, no scrapes or nothing, but they're definitely walking this. I mean, there's a really good trail. Where you can see now I'm on my knees. I mean, it's thick. It's got all these overhanging branches you basically got to crawl to get through, and the trail's going just like that. And I got a camera back over here and a tree marked to climb. Definitely makes me feel better about that spot I picked the other day and the camera I put up. It's actually a little easier to walk over there, but the deer are standing. It's a little bit thicker stuff, which makes sense. Not a bad little area. Definitely worth throwing some cameras up, kind of in this general area. Which, like I said, I got one, but it takes more than one just to see what kind of bucks are in here. I'll shoot those too, especially early season. So we're gonna keep at it. All right, now I'm on the opposite side of that transition of that bottom, working it the same way. I kind of cut a trail back to where I originally started on that side, which was nice because it showed me that the deer are definitely working to where I originally started. Now I got another spot pinned right here, which, like I said before, I'm going to try to screenshot my map and show you, just so you have a visual. But I've worked my way to this other pin I dropped, and I followed a trail all the way to it. So, and I like this spot a little bit better. Well, I was gonna say there's water oaks in here. They are, but they're very small. So that would be nice to have some oaks. Might be some over here. I'm gonna just loop in this area. I'll show you what it looks like. It's a little more open. And I use open lightly, like it's still thick. Hunting in here, you wouldn't have a very far shot. But let's see, I can see a trail there. I'm on a trail here. This is the one I kind of been on. I don't know if you can see it. And it's just basically following that transition. I actually see one there too. And I can see it's working back this way towards that bottom. That bottom kind of cuts in. So I'm just gonna keep following trails and see. Just hit a split right here. It's going that way. Right in the middle of the screen, you can see the little, hope you can see it, but it's kind of going off this way. I'm gonna walk this one, have my tracker on, come back to this Y, then I'm gonna walk that way. Walked about 10 yards, got another split here. I'm going that way. Actually, I think this whole trail goes that way. But we got another trail coming from here. I was just over there coming this way. We got a trail going that way, one this way. The Y's off right here. You can see it, the Y right there. I've walked all the trails in this little area that I can find. And I mean, they're all running the same direction. Basically paralleling that bottom. And it looks like even on the other side, same thing. But they're running to that spot that I hung my camera up, where those 4 or 5 trails were intersecting. For some reason, they're moving that way. But I got some rubs in here. Haven't found any scrapes, but that's fine. Several piles of poop. Several trails. So, obviously they're not gonna run the same trail every time. But all the trails that I've ran are basically going the same directions. So, that's really good. Now I'm gonna kind of go to the focal point in which they pinch down, which is up here at this bottom. The good thing with this spot is I can hunt this. This is huntable. So I'm definitely gonna keep an eye out in here, especially if I'm getting deer on that camera over there. So to put a camera in here would be a little rough, but it's basically points down. And this corner is where all these trails are going. Running straight to this edge of this bottom. I like this. And once again, you could definitely get a climber in some of these trees, but it's thick. And there's no I don't think a guy in a climber's gonna come back here. You'd have to have a lock on or a saddle. You could probably make it work, but I feel like if anything, they're gonna be back there in them big ponds, which is gonna put them right out of the X. But we're gonna keep at it. All right, this is the first scrape I found in this area. You can tell. Look at the twisted off little branches. Obviously it's bowled out. You can see the root coming out the ground. And I'm right inside all them trails. They pinch down over here, honestly. But I got a trail coming out here with rubs on it. So, as of now, if I hunted it, I'd be right. Probably in the middle of these ponds. I really like the spot. Kind of dissected the trail systems. Found where most of them's coming together. There's plenty of bucks on, so there's definitely bucks using it at the right time. And found a ton of just deer poop. I'm sure there's plenty of does too, but that's probably why the bucks are here, because of the does. So this will definitely be a focal spot. There will be a camera in here. And might be one on this scrape I just found behind me. Right in here, right there. It's the only one I found. It's like they're not scraping inside these ponds. They like to get right on the edge of these little swampy areas. At least here. But I'm gonna just keep working this transition. I've got this spot down. Now I'm gonna go out to this main transition between the ponds and this bottom again and just keep paralleling it, see what else I found. Okay, I've walked the crap out of this area. I even went back in the thick, like, there's for sure bedding in there. There's no way I'm gonna be able to hunt that. I'm gonna have to hunt these fringes, which that's why I'm trying to find where the most concentration of sign is coming out of it, which I got for sure one spot, maybe two over here. So, I mean, we'll see. I'll definitely have some cameras dropped in here. Probably be around that end of June, 1st of July time frame. And then I'll let them burn for a little bit. Just to kind of see what's in here. I've seen some pretty good sized rods, so I feel like there's at least a couple decent bucks in here. Good rack bucks. Not sure. Been finding a ton of deer crap, which means they're obviously hanging out in here quite a bit, and that's just what I found. So it seems like the general travel is back and forth out of these bottoms. There's some parallel in it. Probably the end of the rut, we'll catch these bucks parallel and cutting these doe trails coming out. That's what I'm guessing. But like I said, I got for sure one spot that I'm super confident in. Maybe two. But we're just gonna keep going. I might head to another area now. I don't know. I'm just gonna ease out and start. I've kind of scouted a lot towards my south here. So there's more deer crap. And then there's another pile. There's 3 piles of deer crap, fresh and old, right here. So it's a fact that a deer can be killed here. And we can kill 10 does in Georgia, so I will definitely shoot a doe or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5. Probably not that many. But especially early season, I will 100% shoot a doe. Rut hits, probably not, but I like to shoot them early, so I like finding congregations of deer, period. There's does here, there's bucks here somewhere. But we'll get on them. Like I said, I'm just going to ease out, look at the map. I've hit both spots that I had pinned, and the pin wasn't on the X, but I wasn't far from it. And that's just looking off the habitat where the colors change. I could tell ponds run into a swamp. We'll point to the ponds going into the bottom. So far, so good. All right, I'm gonna call it for today. Been out here about 5 hours. Did just see a deer. Couldn't tell what it was, and it didn't see me either, but by the time I got my binoculars out, it already crossed the little road. So, but I'm gonna ease out of here. Found some pretty good stuff. Definitely something worth building on. At some point we'll be putting cameras out and getting an inventory. Figuring out what kind of bucks are in here. That's when it's gonna get very exciting. But I will see y'all on the next one. I appreciate it.